Yep. Good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we learned about how to work with all routing example, and we are going to deal with one mon stack. So, we are going to learn how to create a small application, end-to-end application. In that, first we are going to discuss about database. Database. We are going to learn about MongoDB. So already I given a simple overview on why you need a database. In multi-tier applications, so the application related data is stored in a database. Multi-tier application means application usually runs in tiers and application is built in layers. So what are the three layers we are having? Presentation layer, business layer, and database layer. What is the role of a developer in database layer? Creating database, so queries, all this. So what is the role of a developer in a database tier? Database tier contains this database administration. Administration of database is done in tier. So layers, as a developer, you will be working in layers: UI layer, business layer, and database. So what is this MongoDB and how to handle this? So let's see some basic introduction about this. So MongoDB database. Uh, it is non-SQL or no SQL. You can call it anyway. Document based database. It is non-SQL or no SQL document based database. So generally, as I explained in last session, databases are categorized in the current market in two ways: SQL based and non-SQL based. SQL is a language used for database. All databases majority use the language called SQL. And MongoDB will not use this SQL. So without SQL, the database is MongoDB. What are the key features about MongoDB is actually MongoDB, it is a schemaless. It is a structureless. Schemaless is a structureless database. So it supports ORM, object relational mapping. Object relational mapping or mapper, we call it as ORM. So it is schemaless. It supports ORM. What is meant by schemaless is structureless is actually the simple point here. Suppose we are having user register and we have to design a registration form. In that registration form, 15 fields are present. In that 15 fields, some 9 are required. Required means they are mandatory. Other six optional. Other six are optional. 9 mandatory. Other six they can skip, ignore. Then now tell me for how many fields we have to design a database table. For how many fields we need to design a database table? All 15. Because we are not sure which user will fill how many. One user can fill all 15. Another user can fill only 9. Another user can fill 14. Another user can fill 11. That means now you have to create a table for all 15 fields. And not only that, in your queries also, you have to use all the 15 fields. That means even that particular field is not filled or it is not having a value, you have to use that field in the query. That means you are unnecessarily querying some fields which are not filled by the user. Is there any possibility that one row can have 9 columns, another row can have 15 columns? Is it possible to have a table like this? Not possible. It is not possible to have a table like that. Have you ever seen table like that? Yeah? That means they are having values. Man. You are saying null means what? Field is present, value is not there. But for one row, there are only 9 fields. For second row, there are 15 fields. And other fields are not there. That means not null. Fields are not there. Only 9 fields they are filled. How many fields they filled? Only that data can be stored. Others not null. The fields will not be there. That means for first user, other 6 fields are deleted. For first user, other 6 fields are deleted if he filled 9. So this is a schemaless data, structureless data. It is not possible. It is not possible to have data like this. Any database generally will not support this kind of data. MongoDB supports. MongoDB supports this kind of data. That is the reason MongoDB is structureless and it is document based. Document based means every record is considered as an individual table, individual document. That means every user information is treated as one document and every document is independent. It is present in a collection, but it is independent. It is not related to another row. Every row can have an individual behavior. That is the nature of which one? Document base. And that is what we call as what? Schema less. So document based schema less are the concepts. These are major features of MongoDB. Generally, databases, majority all are structured, but MongoDB is structureless. And MongoDB supports ORM, object relational mapping. What is the concept of ORM is actually, for example, we have some business requirement. And actually, business requirement is client's requirement. Now, for this business requirement, we will prepare the database. We will design the database. Now, we are developing an app. This application is developed according to the business requirements. According to business requirements, we build the app. And according to the business requirements, we design database. Now this application have to use database. This application should use database. But what happens is our developers have an habit of writing for database. Our developers have an habit of writing for database. That means we write logic for database. If database is not ready, that means database is not designed and it is not ready. Then our developer have to wait until the database is ready. Until the database is designed, we have to wait until the database is designed. Now, in the modern development, we are not following that. What we are doing is, as a developer, we are not writing for database. We are writing for business requirements only. If database is designed according to business requirement, we are writing for business requirement. What is the advantage of business requirement? If you write for business requirement, this writing for business requirement is called ORM. What is the specialty of this is, according to business requirement, you design. According to the business requirements, you write the logic. Even database is not ready. Database is not designed. You write for business requirement. What is the specialty here is, later, whenever database is designed, whenever database is designed, this logic can work for database. And not only that, another specialty is of ORM, if a database is not present, then this logic can create database for you. That means if database is not present, your logic can create database. It can create the tables. It can put the data into tables. That means we don't need to wait for database. If database is not ready, automatically it will create the database for you. It will design the database for your requirements. This is a very high level technical mechanism which people with technologies like .NET, Java and all these people know already. They already know and they already work with this kind of infrastructure. Usually we call this mechanism as what? ORM. ORM means you don't need to wait for database. You write your logic according to the business requirements. That means according to business requirements, they will tell that there will be a database by name DemoDB. They will tell that there will be a table by name TBL products. But actually there is no database and there is no table. But our developers will use those names. And this table is having fields like name, price and all. Our developer use those names. And what happens is, if database is designed, it is ready, this logic will interact with it. If not ready, according to these names, automatically database is designed for you. It creates the database for you. It creates the tables for you. It will add the data into the tables. That is the mechanism of ORM. You may be, for example, actually, these days many people are very much worried about artificial intelligence, chat GPT, and all these things. And they think that because of this chat GPT, artificial intelligence, and all, jobs will reduce, job opportunities will reduce. Majority, everything is done with this artificial intelligence. This is because the point is only one simple point I will tell you. This is more trending about artificial intelligence, chat GPT, because the lack of technical knowledge from developer. Recent generation people who came into software technologies, for them it is very exciting, chat GPT and all this. But do you know we have seen like this already 15, 20 years back? These are nothing. That means an expert in software technology with 20 years do you know in technologies like Java and .NET, means I am talking about in 2011, they introduced this ORM. ORM is introduced in 2011. Yep. So according to the diagram, you just draw a diagram according to the diagram. That means diagram is nothing but, for example, I will show you. Yeah. Suppose we are going to learn this diagram. Yeah. Suppose according to the business requirements, you can see according to the business requirements, we draw a diagram like this. According to the business requirements, we draw a diagram like this. Just roughly, I'm showing you. Do you know, almost 15 years back, we have the technology in such a way that according to this diagram, it will create database. It will write the logic. Logic means all CRUD operations. Create, read, insert, update, delete. It will design UI, means registration form, edit form, delete form. It will design the UI for this diagram. That means now what chat GPT and all these people are saying, that means what you are practicing there. You say, I want a registration form. That means it will create one registration form and it will give it to you. We done 15 years back. You may be very excited about that now. This kind of technique is called scaffolding. It is available from technology called Ruby, right? And we have 15 years back this mechanism. Do you know currently one of the most trending language is Python? It is 30 years old language, currently trending. That means for you it may be trending. The 30 years old language, why currently trending? Because all these days you don't know. That's it. That means what do you think? Python is very recently introduced and it is very much trending now. 30 years back it is there. After all, you know now. That means we are, as an expert and senior in software development, we are not very much worried about this artificial intelligence and all, because we know that it is not going to happen much, because we have seen such trends earlier also, so many. That means artificial intelligence is not completely trustable. Officially, even Facebook, Microsoft, and Google like people, they avoid using complete artificial intelligence there in their scenarios. And you know, very recently, Facebook and Google CEO, they were court-martialed by American Congress. Have you seen? Just 2 3 months back, you can see on YouTube. Still, there are videos. American government, FBI, FBI is so the intelligence agency. They completely warned Google and Facebook that not to go into much depth into artificial intelligence because it is not under control. Already you can see the videos in YouTube. You search on YouTube, Facebook CEO, American Congress. You will find the videos. They interrogate them. They say that if it is not under your control, so then how you are using it? You should stop it. You should stop it. That is the concept. That is the reason. The point here is these all are artificial intelligence. It is internally available in so many places. ORM is one a great approach which is already there. But very recently, people are getting awareness on this. Right? These are not new concepts. They are already there from several years. So actually, what is the concept of ORM is, you see, this is ORM. That means I will show you entity video. Yeah. You can see this is the ORM, entity framework. This is ORM. ORM advantage is actually it provides several features. That means actual here developers work with relational data using domain specific objects. So that means usual concept is, so developers, it eliminates the need of most of the data access code developers need to write. Actually, ORM follows different approaches. So you can see these are the approaches. That means if already database is there, it will communicate with the database. If database is not there, then it will create the database. You will see that in practical, I will show you. That means we will not design database. We will write logic. According to logic, database will be created. So that may be a surprising concept for many people, but it is a very old technique. Very old technique. Even I will show you this here. This is entity video. Actually, let's see here. So this is the presentations I'm having here. This is the entity video. This is the entity video, final it entity video. You can see this entity video recent. I last updated on 2016. That was the latest version, entity version 5. In 2016, this presentation I just updated to 5 version. Before that, in 2011, we have the introduction of entity. Now you are talking about this kind of approach in 2024. And we have seen this already 10, 15 years back. That means we have seen that we ask something to a software, it will automatically generate everything for us. That means we ask that I want a logic for this. It will write that logic and give to us. It is already there from several years. So only the point is many technology people are completely unaware of this. They never seen this. They never used it. That's the reason they think that it is a trending concept. But actually it is very old mechanism. We already have such mechanism. What is advantage of ORM? So what is the feature? ORM supports features like we have features like lazy loading, like change tracking, identity resolution. These are all the features of ORM. That means developers can write for business requirements instead of data requirements. That is the nature of this ORM. You will see this. Actually, many people come and ask this point. They say that, sir, I heard that in MongoDB, there is one concept where database is automatically created for the logic. So it is newly invented. It is not newly invented. You just newly know it, right? It is not newly invented. It is 20 years back concept. You just recently know about it and you feel excited about it because you don't know the complete technologies earlier. There are so many technologies from where your other technologies evolved. That means, for example, people use languages like Java, C Sharp, and ASP.NET, JSP, PHP, and all this. But what majority people are not completely aware is these technologies evolved from other technologies. They are not direct inventions. Those technologies evolved from other technologies, and those old technologies already have such features. So all these days, why people don't know about this? Because they feel that the old methods are enough for them. But now in the modern generation, we don't want like that. We want to use the more modern techniques. But actually, these are very old techniques. These techniques are currently trending. That means in majority of projects, we are writing not for database, we are writing for business requirement. That is the concept of advantage of this. Another point is it supports it supports ad hoc queries. Ad hoc query. It supports ad hoc querying. Ad hoc querying is also a concept which is very popular through this ORM like concept. Ad hoc querying is nothing but queries are dynamically generated. Queries are dynamically generated according to user actions. Queries are dynamically generated. Queries are dynamically generated according to user actions. That is the concept of ad hoc querying is. Ad hoc querying is nothing but, for example, I will show you a website like we have a website like justdial.com. This is just dial. You see, search across 4.3 crore businesses. 4.3 crore businesses are there. In that, you can search whatever you want. Now tell me, for this, how many queries a developer need to keep ready? Because we are not sure in this 4 crore business, which business he want. That means how many queries we need to keep ready as a developer. Because for example, you are visiting a website. When you are visiting a website, in a website, you will have a help desk. In that help desk, what you will do, see, you will say that I am facing this problem. Then automatically a robot comes and robot gives an answer. What is your problem? That means, is it talking to you live with the queries? No, already the queries are written. When you ask a question, if that question belongs to any of those queries which are already available, then it will show that result. That means it is not talking to you. Already hundreds of queries are written. From there, it is replying you. A robot is replying from hundreds of queries. That means here 4 crore businesses are there. Then how many queries a developer need to write? That is very, very complex. Now, what is the specialty is ad hoc querying is you are selecting some options, or you are searching for what you want. According to the words, according to your selection, a query is dynamically created. That means we don't need to keep the queries ready. A query is dynamically created and that dynamic query is generated. That means a query is automatically created dynamically according to your interactions. That's good. That is what actually the concept of ad hoc query. Ad hoc querying is used in many occasions. For example, do you know you are watching YouTube? When you are watching YouTube, on YouTube, you are clicking on certain videos and watching. Do you know YouTube will recommend similar videos next? That means, does it know that you will watch that video? No. Then next, how it is suggesting similar videos? That means, are those queries readily built? They are not readily built every time. They are dynamically generated according to your actions, according to your action, because we don't know what you will search. But according to your search, the relative content should come. In that case, hundreds, thousands of queries we don't need to keep ready. We can dynamically generate queries. That is the nature of what? Ad hoc querying. Ad hoc querying. Actually, to use this ad hoc querying, technologies like Java, .NET, all these people, they use a mechanism called OData. They use a mechanism called OData. But we don't need this. Without this, internally MongoDB can manage those actions. OData is very popular for API, dynamic querying and all. RESTful APIs and all, OData is very popular. Actually, OData is very popular. This is OData. This is the best way to REST. This is for RESTful APIs. And actually, many technologies implement this OData to support these ad hoc querying. This is one concept used for dynamic generation. It's a big concept. That means here what happens is the queries are automatically generated according to your actions. Several technologies use this mechanism of OData. So MongoDB have a lot of features. It supports not only this, actually it supports data replications, data replications. Because MongoDB is a cloud-based database, it supports data replications. Data replication is nothing but it improves load balancing. Actually, data replication is nothing but what happens. Suppose there is a database. Now its capacity is 1,000 users at a time. 1,000 users can use it at a time. Now what happened is, suppose it is like Amazon or something. Now what Amazon have done is at 12 a.m. they started some offers. Now at 12 a.m. onwards, the load will increase. 10,000 users will connect. Then this database will fail because it cannot manage 10,000 users. Its capacity is only 1,000. And remember, it then what happens is it will replicate this data, duplicate. And according to the load, it will share the data to others. That means data duplicates. And the duplicated replications will be provided to the other users. That means load is balanced. Otherwise, the application crash. Usually you see OTT channels. OTT channels are managing the load balancing. Otherwise, they fail. Several apps fail actually. For example, you are watching IPL. Some Geo Cinema is freely broadcasting this IPL. At peak time, suddenly, sometimes, so it will go to 30 crore users watching at a time in peak hours. Suddenly, it stops responding to you. That means suddenly it starts buffering, it starts disconnecting. Why? Because its capacity is certain. And if it crosses the limit, it cannot manage. And if it is managing at any level, that means it is very good in data replications. Very good in data replication. That means millions of people are connecting, but still it is working. That's very great. That means that is because of this mechanism. Otherwise, what happens? Suddenly it stops, fails. You know, several OTT apps fail when at certain moment millions of people try to watch at a time because its actual capacity is not that. It should improve. Majority, even remember, even YouTube is designed with so technologies which support these kind of data replications, database, right? Usually that is one popular thing about the MongoDB. So MongoDB has so many features. These are all important features, but some drawbacks also there. One of the major drawback is it is not good in relational data. It is not very good in relational data. Due to that, data analytics reporting is not good with MongoDB. That means actually huge business, they need lot of data analytics and data intelligence, business intelligence. That is not great with MongoDB. It's okay, but it is not great with MongoDB. That means data intelligence is nothing but, I think you heard about business intelligence, BI tools. You learned BI tools? You know about any BI tools? So we have like Oracle business intelligence tools, Microsoft business intelligence tools, MSBI, OBI. These are all business intelligence tools. Business intelligence tools are nothing but, for example, we have a supermarket. Supermarket, so have to get some dairy products. Dairy products. Dairy products are nothing but like curd or milk and all this, bread and all this. And they will expire in just 3 days. Now, store manager have to collect, put an order to the warehouse saying that today I want these many. And his order must be in such a way that so excess content should not come and scarcity should not be there. Then how he will order? That means excess content should not come. That means there is a requirement for 100. He cannot get 200 because they will expire. Many people are not purchasing, it will expire. And he cannot bring less quantity like 20 or 30 because so people, it is in demand and you are not providing. Then how they will procure? How many item, how many products he need for that day? How he will order? That means based on last few days trends. From last few days, how many products sold? Based on that, in future, how many it may be. This is all we call as data prediction, data science. You know data science. What is data science? Data science is one of the most trending one in the current software technologies. What is data science? Data science is all about data analytics and predictions. Prediction. For example, you are watching a cricket match. In cricket match, whatever graphs you see, that is data science. That means at this rate, if they bat in this over, they can make like this. That is data science. That is data science. How much they can make after this, that is data science. Data prediction, that is what data science is. And MongoDB like databases are not very great for these kind of interactions. That is the reason for such type of concepts, MongoDB will not be a good one. For that, we use Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, other relational databases. This is okay, but it is not great. We are not saying that it is impossible, but we are saying that it is not great. That's the reason MongoDB is not used everywhere. But these days, majority of projects are using MongoDB, which doesn't require much relational content. So that's the reason Java, .NET people also, actually earlier Java means Oracle, .NET means SQL Server, PHP means MySQL. They are fixed. A Java person learns only Oracle, .NET person learns only SQL Server. No other database they will learn because real-time projects also using same. But now trend changed. A .NET person should learn Oracle, MySQL, MongoDB like databases. Java people also should learn MongoDB. Python people should learn MongoDB. Why? Because the different applications need different type of database ecosystem. So MongoDB have all these important features. So how to set up MongoDB? Let's see how it works. So we have set up MongoDB. So first what you have to do is download and install MongoDB community server on your PC. So I will give you a direct link here. This is the MongoDB community server link. You can get it from here. Remember, when you visit a MongoDB website, you will be confused. Why? Because MongoDB is a cloud database. It's a cloud service. It is not just database. That means MongoDB is a complete cloud service. That is the reason you may get confused with what to download. Because MongoDB have several tools related to cloud. If you download all of them, time waste. So you have to just download this one. That means do not download all other unnecessary tools. You just download this one because MongoDB is not just database. It has a lot of cloud services. And you don't need all those cloud services. You need only this. And when you download and install this, so select MongoDB Compass while downloading, while installing. Select MongoDB Compass. That means while installing, it will ask, do you want MongoDB Compass? You have to select it. Make sure that you selected that MongoDB Compass. Actually, MongoDB Compass is a client tool to communicate with MongoDB server. It is a client tool to communicate with MongoDB server. Actually, in old versions, you don't need this, but in the current latest version of MongoDB, it is compulsory. Without that, it will not work. Actually, in old versions of MongoDB, people used to work with database from command prompt, but now it is not possible. Latest versions have removed it. Latest version of MongoDB removed the concept of working from command prompt directly. You have to work from this Compass tool. So it is mandatory that you have to use this tool. On YouTube or on several internet tutorials, they still show examples on old version. They will show you the process of running from a command prompt directly, which will not work anymore. Latest versions completely changed. You need to install this Compass and you have to work with Compass only, right? So you see now here, when you open this in the community server, you see current version is 7. Companies are still using 4. Companies are still using 4. Current version is 7. 95% companies are using version 4 of MongoDB. And version 4 and version 7, there are a lot of changes in ecosystem environment. So many changes are there. So that is the reason, make sure that you install this, and actually it is available for every operating system, right? Current Windows is, means this website have ability to understand which operating system you are using. It will give the download. Directly you can download and you can install the setup file. Just like Node.js and all you have installed, one checkbox will come in the installation, that is install MongoDB Compass. Make sure that you selected that Compass. Once MongoDB is installed on your PC, now what you have to do is start MongoDB server. You have to start MongoDB server. Actually, to start this MongoDB server, make sure that MongoDB server is started. So remember, every database in the world will have client and we have server. Every database, Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server or MongoDB, every database will have server and client. Server is the location where the database is kept. Database is present here. But we don't directly work from server. What we will do by using client tool, we connect with the server and we use it. Your data is on server. That means this is the location where data is present. Make sure that the server is started. The server is started. So actually, suppose you see uh, Google. Here I search here, start MongoDB server. I am running like this. And you see, when I say start MongoDB server, you see majority of online tutorials will show you a process. And what is the process they show you? They show you this process. They will say that go to program files, MongoDB server and bin. And in that you have to run a command called MongoD. Understood? This is the process everyone shows you on internet. This will not work anymore. This will not work anymore. Those days gone. But this is the first result that came in my search. How to start MongoDB server. This will not work anymore. Why? Because this is 3.2 version. Current we are in 7.6 version. Companies are still using this. Companies are still using 3.2 and 4 versions. That's the reason they have this approach. And this will not work anymore. That is the reason what you have to do. Don't follow this. It will not work at all. Don't follow this. What you have to do now, how to start MongoDB server. For that, so programs in go to programs in programs services.msc. You search for services.msc. Go to MongoDB server and right click and start. So you need to go to services.msc. This is actually your Windows services. Directly you can run also in run services.msc. When you say services.msc, then automatically this services will open. In the services, you will find MongoDB service. This is MongoDB server. And current status is running. Sometimes this status is stopped. It's not running. So make sure that right click and you selected start. Already it is started. Remember, even you started, sometimes when you restart your computer, it will stop. So make sure every time check whether the server started or not. Otherwise, you have to manually start the server. Okay. After starting the server, actually the starting of server is done in a different way. How it is done means in old versions, how they do, I will tell you. Actually, we open command prompt. We open command prompt. Better, I will show you in Explorer because through command prompt, it will take time. Open Explorer. Go to C drive. In the C drive, you will find program files. Open program files. In that, you will find MongoDB. Where is it? In the program files, you will find MongoDB. Open that MongoDB. In that, there will be server. Open that server. In that, there will be version number. In that version number, there will be bin folder. Bin. In bin folder, there will be MongoD. You have to run this MongoD to start the server. That means actually they open this location in command prompt. They open this location in command prompt. dir, you see MongoD is an exe file. Exe means executable. That means what they do? MongoD and hit enter. Then it is going to start the MongoDB server. It will start the MongoDB server and it will show the server. Actually, it started the MongoDB server now. But this is not followed anywhere. Now it is not working. So it is expired. It is not able to run. So, but this is what people follow earlier. So don't use this anymore. So you don't need this. Just you do this one. Right. So actually in old version, we have to use another technique. That means this is old versions. That means up to 4 version. Open command prompt. C:/program files. MongoDB slash server slash some 3.2 some version slash server slash bin. Here you have to run the command. Run the command. What is the command? MongoDB.exe. Actually, for exes, you don't need exe. This is the old versions. Now, actual many people in their computer install the old version. When they install the old versions, they have to start like this. But in the new version, just you start from the service there. After that, next what you have to do is here. Next point is what is the server address? That means server starts listening. Server starts listening. Server start listening on MongoDB :/127.001:27017. That is the server address. Generally for servers, we use the word listening. Listening means server started, it is listening. You make a request, it will respond. And what is this? This is the MongoDB address. Remember, through any technology, if you have to connect with MongoDB, you need this address. If Java, .NET, PHP, Python, all these technologies are using MongoDB, they have to connect with databases in MongoDB. This address is required. And this is the standard address of MongoDB on any computer. So you have to use this to connect with MongoDB. Now, how to connect? So next what you have to do is open MongoDB Compass tool. So what is this Compass tool is? It is a GUI tool for working with database, graphical user interface, GUI tool for working with database. Actually, to work with database, two types of tools are present. One command line tool, another one graphical user interface. Command line is nothing but command prompt. Like in that command prompt, like everything you have to write through command. But in GUI tool, buttons, drop downs, form like interface will be there. To create database, to delete database, to create tables, to modify records, to add records, everything you can do without writing single command. And for that, this GUI tool is very helpful. But we have to learn both commands and GUI, both how to use them. Because from any technology, you have to communicate with the database through commands. So you have to learn the commands. But how? See, open MongoDB Compass. This is MongoDB Compass. After you installed MongoDB, this will be automatically in your PC. Open this MongoDB Compass. In this MongoDB Compass tool, this is the MongoDB Compass. And see, it is asking, enter the connection string. It is asking, connect to MongoDB. What is the address? You have to type the address. What is the address? MongoDB :/127.001:27017. 27017. That is the standard connection string for MongoDB. Remember, every database have a different connection string. Every technology can connect with different database using these connection strings. As a software developer, we don't know which database that project will use depending on the requirement. Uh, so what we have habit is, there is a website called connectionstrings.com. This is a website which is very popular. This connectionstrings.com website, this website have the list of all connection strings in the world, every database in the world and its connections. That means generally we don't waste time in Google, because in Google so many results will come. We are confused where to go and see the correct one. If you directly come here, you see these are all the databases in the world. This is all the list of database. Out of this, you know only 3-4 names only, right? Maximum you know only 3-4 databases, but these are all the databases used in different places. Now, this website, what it will do is, if you click, then it will show you how to communicate with the database. How to communicate with the database, it is going to show you that. It is going to show how to communicate. It's all connection strings and all it will show. Software developers usually come to this website to understand how to communicate with different databases. That means it's a very good help actually. So every database needs a connection string. So here, this is the connection string. Now click on connect. When I click on connect, it is going to connect and it will show you the databases here. And you can see that these are all the databases that I have in my PC. By default, all these databases will not be there in your PC. In your PC, by default, you will have database called admin, config, and local. These three databases will be there. Other databases, all they are added in my PC according to my requirements, right? And below this, you will see Mongo shell. You will see Mongo shell, Mongo SH. It is nothing but just like your PowerShell. In your Visual Studio Code, you have a PowerShell. Same like Mongo shell. Mongo shell is the location from where we run the commands. That means creating database, deleting database, creating tables, adding data into tables, querying, everything we do by using commands. Those commands are executed in this shell. You see, this is the Mongo shell. And this is the location where we have to learn the commands. Because if any technology have to communicate with the database, then they have to communicate through commands. If as a developer, I am directly working on database to edit and delete, then I can directly do without this shell. How I can do? I can click plus button. I can create a new database. I don't need commands. Without commands, I can manage complete database. But developers need to learn the commands. So those we have to use. So open MongoDB Compass. Then here what you have to do, enter the connection string. Connection string already we know, MongoDB. Then click connect. So MongoDB Compass provides graphical interface to manipulate the data. To manipulate the data. So it also provides Mongo sh shell for command line interactions, command line manipulations. Command line manipulations. So generally, other technologies require a language called SQL. By using the language SQL, they communicate with the database. But here we don't need that. Here there are different commands through that we have to communicate. So now what we have to do here is this MongoDB is ready. Now we have to learn the commands for CRUD operations. Commands for CRUD operations. Commands for CRUD operations means create, read, update, and delete. That means you will learn creating database, creating tables. Here, different terms will be there. I will tell you. So, adding data into tables, querying data, and updating data, and removing data. These are all the operations we have to learn. Actually, we can do all these without writing any command. But as a developer, we have to learn all the commands. By using the commands, we have to manage all these operations. So first we will learn these commands, how to create database, tables, add data, how to query, update, and delete. So these are the commands for the CRUD operations. Now, Oracle and all these people use SQL queries for this. But here, simple JavaScript like methods. That means anybody who knows proper JavaScript, he can easily use MongoDB. It will not take much time to handle because all are like array methods. You learned array methods, find, filter, sort, search, like that. Same methods are used here. Similar methods are used for manipulation. Now we will see how to manipulate these and work with these commands. That we'll see tomorrow. Right, in tomorrow's session, we will learn how to create database, tables, data, querying, inserting, updating, deleting. Once you know this, we will create one database for a project and we will write server-side logic using Node.js. We will learn Node.js and Express for server-side APIs. First, we will learn all the commands related to database that we'll see tomorrow. Okay, right.